Hello everyone, BNSF 5608 here with a North Metro Model Railroad Club tutorial, Airbrush Weathering Basics. I will be transforming this already superbly detailed Sioux Line SD40-2 into something that more reflects how a locomotive of its type would look even after a few months of service. I will be pausing this video in between steps to show you highlights of each layer of color I add to the locomotive and evaluate how to make every individual layer blend and wash to fill any voids of the locomotive. I highly recommend polyscale paints to use for weathering. Today I will be using grimy black for exhaust soot and oil, rust color, and dirt. The colors can be thinned using a 70% isopropyl alcohol, and the alcohol will also be used to create wash effects. The first step will be to clear your airbrush of any colors that may have been previously used. Using the alcohol, blow it out a few times. Next, I wash the locomotive with the same alcohol to remove any foreign oils, dust, etc. You may have noticed the locomotive has started to turn white after the washing process. Don't worry, this may happen to you as well. When locomotives have been custom painted and a dull coat or clear coat applied, the alcohol will react funny with that surface and cause it to get milky. This will be remedied later. The first layer I like to put on is the grime. I like to emphasize a sense of movement when I do this, so it invokes a sense of direction of travel, with more exhaust towards the rear of the locomotive than the front. EMD locomotives in particular don't like to keep their rooftops very clean for very long, spewing oil in a very fine mist. Next I will add the dirt. Now remember, you can always add more later if you like, so start thin and work your way up, please. I encourage you to look at some prototype pictures of the most common places dirt builds up on locomotives. Some examples would be basically anything on the underframe, including trucks, ends of fuel tanks, etc. This next step can be very tricky. Rust. Be careful! I cannot emphasize that enough. It is way too easy to get carried away with rust. For this step, I highly recommend you look at prototype pictures to see where locomotives commonly rust, and also, and more importantly, at what age do they start to have light rust to medium amounts of rust. Please, unless you intend to make on a scrap display, don't go overboard. The final step will be to wash, if you so choose. My goal with this locomotive was to give a used, not abused look, so I chose to go back and essentially erase some of the work and let it wash in and fill gaps and create more depth to the model that the model does not have. I will only be double timing this clip so you can see more detail on where I wash, and how long it really takes to wear through those coats of color I added along the way. On this engine, I decided to go back and add a bit more thin layers of dirt and rust. Just a reminder, this tutorial isn't meant to set any standards. It's just a quick demonstration of techniques that I have learned. Remember, this is a wonderful hobby we all share, and if you don't like the way others do things, do stuff differently. It's your railroad, do what you want. If you liked what you saw, and would like to see more weathering tutorials including step-by-step instructions on airbrush use and techniques, as well as locomotive pre-analysis stages for prototype images, show some love by sharing with friends and letting me know in the comments. Special thanks to Beesandslugs, whose YouTube channel is linked in the description for the equipment and paints, and of course, the North Metro Model Railroad Club for uniting such a talented group of modelers.